overtime!
All right, guys, this is crazy. I just found an amazing deal on Facebook Marketplace, and in this video, we're gonna head out on the road and pick it up together. Now, I hear from people all the time who say they want to get into collecting classic arcade video games like the ones I've got here, but they think it just is way too expensive. They think all of these machines just cost thousands and thousands of dollars a piece. And let me tell you, in my experience, that hasn't been the case at all. I've been doing this for a few years now, and I haven't spent more than $1,000 on any of these games. I mean, except for pinball, but that's a completely different story. And it's not just because I buy typically broken, busted games that need to be completely repaired and completely restored. I've often gotten fully working, classic arcade games for just a few $100 or sometimes less in a few cases. So today, I'm just really casually checking Facebook Marketplace, and what do I see but a working Atari Asteroids for just $100. And before we get ahead of ourselves, you're probably thinking, hey, Asteroids, okay, good game. Typically not that expensive, $100, yeah, good deal, but it's it's not a normal Atari Asteroids. This is the Cabaret version, which is rather rare. So the normal Asteroids upright, Atari made something like 50, 60,000 of them. One of the most common games out there. I think the highest production run of any Atari video game, any Atari arcade video game. But the Cabaret, they only made 600 of. 600 Cabarets of Atari Asteroids were ever made. And you got to think about it, 40 plus years later, how many of these still exist? How many have survived to this day, let alone working, right? Let alone for sale for $100. So, if I'm able to score this thing and add it to my collection, it's going to simultaneously be, easily one of the most common games that I have, being Asteroids, but also, I'm pretty sure the most rare game that I have. Again, Atari only made 600 of these things. So anyway, enough with the talk. I've got to hurry up, otherwise this seller might give this game away to somebody else. So why don't we get in the truck, head out on the road, and pick up this Atari Asteroids Cabaret working for $100. Let's go! Here we go, all loaded up on the truck. Can you tell that it's in there? This thing is so small that it fits in the bed of my truck with the tonneau cover closed, and I can close the tailgate, and it fits perfectly. So yeah, really easy to load it. It was interesting, I was coming down the street of the seller's house and there was a road closed sign, so I was a little bit worried, but I guess the power's just been out here for a while. So yeah, really easy to load. Seller, super cool guy. So thank you, Eric. So yeah, let me get back on the road, get this thing home, and unload it into the garage. Okay, the $100 working Asteroids Cabaret is off the truck and in my garage. We made it home. And this thing is so small. And like I was saying, I was able to get it in the bed of my truck with the tonneau cover closed and the tailgate closed. Incredible. Teeny tiny little thing, and here we go. And what I wanted to do tonight was actually put another coat of brown paint on the side of the joust, which is back over here, but it is too dark, too windy, and too wet outside. It's been raining for days, and I think technically the rain has stopped falling, but it's still blowing around, and I don't want to risk it. So let's rip into this Asteroids. So even though I had the tonneau cover down, I did wrap it up, because you never know. And until I loaded it onto the truck, I didn't know that it was going to fit. I did play this briefly at the seller's house, and it worked just fine. Nice bright picture on the monitor. Played a quick game. There's a bit of a audio buzzing, so that could be, I don't know, speaker or maybe the AR board. The amp on it could be going out. So yeah, here we go. Throw that over here. Look at that thing. My gosh, it's small. Let's look at this in comparison. And I know I am a pretty tall guy, a pretty big guy, but this thing is just tiny. You know what? Let me let's bust out the tape measure here and see. At its tallest point, it's not quite 56 inches. And what's funny is that there's this sort of like slant at the back, and this goes down really, really low. So that's, you know, 37 inches, not even 37 inches. So just over 3 feet at its shortest point. And it's really narrow too, like 20.5 inches. So this thing is really small, but the angle makes sense. The buttons are at the, arm level, and you look down into a 13-inch vector monitor. So yeah, really, really cool. I don't know if is there supposed to be something here? Almost makes it look like there's supposed to be something here, but I don't know. Anyway, buttons feel responsive, and there's a couple of weird things going on, if you haven't noticed already, with this cabinet. And the first and most obvious thing is on the coin door, one of the coin slots and the coin reject buttons has been replaced by this thing, like a doorbell or something, wired up as a credit switch, and we're missing the coin chute cover at the bottom, but that's fine. I don't have a key for it. The marquee here is fine. That looks good. Almost a little too good. I wonder if this might be reproduction. I don't know. Looking pretty good up here. We'll have to clean these buttons up, but I think they're definitely in workable shape. Maybe a little bit worn. Yeah, looks good. We'll clean it up a little bit. Maybe a little, I don't know, spots here worn out on the CPO. I think this is silk screened onto metal. So yeah, not bad. Sides look pretty good. Got a little bit of the laminate missing up here, the wood grain, the beautiful Atari cocktail or Atari Cabaret wood grain, and some bumps and dings on the side, but not too bad. No swelling. This thing has never seen any kind of water from what I can tell. This side's a little bit better shape. Still a couple of dings, but not bad. Coming around the back, a little bit of wear up here. And the typical sort of, and it's not as nearly as white as it looks on the camera, just sort of wear here and maybe, cleaning chemicals or something, interfering with the paint. Speaker grill, back door, the lock, sort of the cam for the lock has been removed. It's got this little homemade latch here. And then down here at the bottom, look at that. We've got this little, I guess, junction box or whatever with a power switch, like a light switch plugged in, even though the original switch is right here still. So that's a bit strange. But yeah, look how nice a condition this thing is in. Just incredible. So let me pop this sucker open. Okay, I repositioned the cabinet and set up the tripod so we can open this thing up and take a look at what we got inside. So I will be fixing this lock. Actually, I think it was just flipped around and reversed. So that's cool. So we got our back door. It looks at one point like somebody had used screws to attach this thing. And there we go. So let's see what we got going on in here. Transformer block at the bottom. We've got the Asteroids board right here. Looks pretty good. And the AR, the original AR, so not an AR2 because this is a Asteroids, this is like an AR1 or just an AR board. Copyright 1979. It says tested October 30th, 1980. So I don't know if that's a later run Asteroids, but Let's see. I see a couple corn kernels in here, some mouse droppings, so we'll get this thing cleaned up. Like a padlock here that's just holding on to a lid of a coin bucket, so we'll have to, I don't know if I've got a replacement coin bucket we could use. You know, big empty space here down at the bottom, just a stand for the coin bucket. And I can grab a socket to remove, take off the cam so we can open the coin door. And the monitor here, here we go. Electrohome, G05, I think 805, right? Yeah, definitely a G05 though. It says Atari Quadrascan. Let me see if I can see a date on it. I'll find it somewhere. Yeah, I did see this thing working, so it looks pretty good. A little bit of ooh. I see some wood splitting here. We'll have to take a look at what's going on with that. I don't know if it's the monitor mount is starting to separate. I'm not sure. And there's some interesting things. So this Molex is disconnected. We've got this like almost like lamp cord, and it's zip tied up here, and it goes up there. I don't know if they like hacked in a light for the marquee. And so like the power cord, and what is this? It says Husky, right? So like the Home Depot brand power cord comes into this switch box, and then comes in, and then I guess it was spliced into the original power cord, which has a Molex that plugs into the transformer block, and it's got all the different Molexes for changing the voltage. And as a operator tag says banner 28140 asset tag, and then this. Yeah, this other like lamp cord is wired in, so I'm guessing, I can't really see. Yeah, I think they put a bulb in there to illuminate the marquee, which I don't think is original. I see two different coin counters. One says 59,851, and another says 18,721. So I'll do the math later. Ooh, and there's parts left over from like a. Oh, that's weird. There's just weird stuff going on here with that coin door. I don't know if I can kind of reach in and unscrew this. Not by hand. And I don't see a key hanging in there. So yeah, let me get a socket and undo that cam so we can get that coin door open. Okay, I actually just used some pliers to loosen it up to the point where I can remove it by hand. And that's just the bolt holding on the cam. And it doesn't want to come off. What the heck? There we go. All right, so this coin door should now come open, and it does. Okay. Oh, that's wild what they did. Okay. Yeah, it should be relatively easy to replace that coin reject button, but yeah, this looks pretty good. Let's see, anything concerning? No. And yeah, there's a. This is definitely not original. A light switch or a There's a like a more modern sort of fluorescent light fixture installed in here, but there's also like something that looks like it would hold a bulb. So did this originally have a backlit marquee? I don't know. And you know, I'm a little bit tempted to just fire this thing up because it worked at the seller's house, and I was very gentle loading it in. Everything looks pretty good. Oh, why don't we try doing it? Why don't we try turning it on? Am I crazy? I mean, asteroids are pretty durable, right? All right, I'm plugged in. Let's see, all the switches I need to turn on. Let me pull out this interlock switch. Back door, I'll pull out the interlock switch on the coin door. And then flip this power switch and see what happens. All right, we've got monitor chatter. We've got a LED lit on the game PCB. Let's come around here, see what we got on the screen. We do have a light on the LED. And look at that. Look at that. We have asteroids. Let me set up the tripod and we'll play a game or two. All right, would you look at that? Very, very, very familiar attract mode of, it's a little bit wobbly. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, is it supposed to be like that? I might have a loose connection. Huh. Wobbling the... You see that? Oh, there comes the buzzing. Now it's fading. So we're going to have some work to do here. I mean, now the vectors look a little bit off. Let me try power cycling it. Interesting. So there's something here I'm going to have to do. So I'll have to do some investigation. You heard that buzzing, right? I think that's coming from the monitor, though. I know AR boards, the audio amp on them is got a tendency to buzz, but yeah, let's see if the game comes back up. Yep, and there we go. So that's weird, you know, shaking the cabinet, banging on the side of the cabinet. You saw it, right? It was fading, and then we lost the picture completely. And I, knocked down the side a little bit of percussive maintenance, and I was able to bring the image back up. But then the vectors were a little bit off. So we've got some work to do here. You know, I'll make sure the voltages are all dialed in. You know, maybe some of the, I don't know. I've never worked on a Geo5 before, and that's what it is, right? Yeah, Geo5. I almost said Geo8, but that's like what Sega used in its vector games. I've never worked on a Geo5 before. Yeah, I don't know what the common issues are. But yeah, here's the classic, Asteroids attract mode. A little bit smaller, right? 13-inch screen is what Atari used on the Asteroids, Cabaret. Unlike the Tempest Cabaret that I have in the basement, which has a full-size, 19-inch Wells Gardner 6100. The full-size Asteroids had a 19-inch Geo5 or whatever, and the Cabaret version has a 13-inch Geo5, so a little bit smaller. Obviously, normal size buttons here, but yeah, look how cute that is. So let me coin up. I'll try coining up with the coin chute that's here. And it's probably not lined up right. Yeah, something's funky with that. That's fine. Let's see if the switch works at least. If I can. Here we go. Okay. We have a one-player start light up, button lit up. All right, and I hit that button that was wired in. Now we've got, we can play a two-player game if we want to, but I'm not going to do that. So why don't we play a little bit of Asteroids? I'm terrible at this game, just to warn you. I'm not really good at any arcade game, so we'll see what happens. And yeah, my strategy, which is not good, is usually to stay in the middle unless I have to move. The buttons feel a little stiff. Maybe they need to be, the insides need to be cleaned a bit. All right. I got the UFO by accident. And I think there's a strategy here where you can just sort of hang out and go asteroid, you can go UFO hunting. It's a point pressing strategy. Wait for the UFO to appear, because I've only got that one little... Oh, well, that didn't work. Down to one ship left. Oh, and I guess it resets. And I don't know anything about this game. I mean, obviously I played it, but I don't know any strategies or... Oh, I tried to hit hyperspace, but I wasn't in time. Okay. Push rotate to select letters. The buttons are a bit sticky. Hyperspace when letter is correct. Yeah, these buttons are sticky. All right, look at that high score. Is this supposed to save high scores? I have no idea. Oh, and I guess somehow it registered an additional credit here because it's got 1 or 2 player start. So, do another play 1 game. There we go. Got the UFO. Down to 1 tiny asteroid. Got another UFO. There we go. Cleared that board. Oh, I hit hyperspace and came out of hyperspace right next to an asteroid. All right. Got that, got that. It's like the Jaws theme, right? Okay. Well, I've improved on my high score. All right, I'm doing all right. Am I doing okay? Oh, I went to hit hyperspace and I hit thrust by accident. All right. Oh, I did the same thing. I meant to hit hyperspace and I hit thrust. Put my initials back in. Yeah, we're gonna have to clean these buttons for sure. All right, you can still see what I'm doing. Let me add another credit. There we go, so we can start a 2-player game just to make sure that 2-player button works, and it does. Yeah, these buttons are stiff, need to be cleaned. Do not take this as a tutorial on how to play. Okay, player 2's got a chance of doing better. Oh, wow. Right at me. Is there a strategy like you're, really you want to hit the asteroids and they're moving away from you so that there isn't a chance of, or there's less of a chance of, there we go, the asteroid sort of breaking apart and heading right for you, right? Is that a strategy? Which I'm clearly not following. Yep, okay. Terrible. All right, back to player 2. Okay. Yeah, but this thing is working good. Other than those... Oh, man. Player 1. All right. Yeah, other than those, obviously the things that we need to repair, the power switch, maybe I'll leave the modern light illuminating the marquee, which is fine. I'll fix the wiring. I'm not going to leave the wiring sort of how it was. There we go. Got the UFO. Yeah, we'll fix that power switch. We'll fix the marquee light wiring. What else was weird? I think those are the main things. Oh, and the credit switch on the coin door will obviously address that. And yeah, we'll figure out what's going on with the buzzing or the game over player 1. We'll figure out what's going on with the buzzing and what the fading of that monitor is all about. But yeah, this is great. My second black and white game. Dead. Well, I think that'll do it for the gameplay. But yeah, this is great. My second black and white game, like I was saying. My first, I should probably put in my, don't worry about it, my high score. My second black and white game, my third vector. Look at that marquee all lit up. That looks almost too nice to be original. I don't know, let me know what you think. Is that a reproduction? Because my Tempest is a little bit flaky, the marquee. But yeah, what an awesome game. And for $100, it looks like it's flickering a little bit in the camera, but it's definitely not flickering at all looking at it in real life. So looks great. And for $100, wow. That's definitely one of the better deals that I've scored in this hobby. And it's rare that I buy working games because I like, fixing them. I like tinkering with them and restoring them and bringing them back to life. But hey, this thing needs a little bit of work, right? Very, very minor restoration, almost no cosmetic work to do. But yeah, we'll fix this. We'll put a real lock on. We'll get rid of that light switch and we'll fix some of this wiring. But yeah, awesome. Awesome score for $100. I'm really excited. And yeah, it was funny. Just yesterday, last night, I don't know when this video is going to come out, but just last night we did the live stream for episode 3 of the Coin Jam podcast, which if you haven't checked it out, you definitely should. We live stream it once a month on YouTube, and we, after the live stream, we release it as an audio version on all popular podcast platforms, Apple and Google and Spotify and all that stuff. And of course, you can watch the video on demand afterwards. But anyway, in that video that we just recorded last night, I said that, I think I'm done for the month, right? It was the 29th last night, right? I'm like, I think I'm done for the month of April. And then, just this morning, I had just released the, monthly or the weekly roundup I do of the top content, arcade-related content on YouTube, and I just released that, and then I, posted it on Twitter, and I said, hey, let me check out Facebook Marketplace, see what's going on there. Casually checked it out and saw this puppy had just been listed about 11 minutes earlier for $100, a working Asteroids Cabaret, right? And immediately contacted the seller, said, I'll take it, when can I pick it up? And by the time he replied to me, just a few minutes later, there were 4 or 5 other people that had said they wanted it. But he sold it to me because I was first to respond, really fast. And the only reason that there weren't hundreds of people blowing up his inbox is, he kind of spelt the name of the game wrong. It was just Asteroid, no S. It didn't say arcade, it said something like Asteroid Cabinet game, and he had a single picture of it. And yeah, I responded within 11 minutes of it going up. And 3 hours later, after driving up to Pennsylvania, this puppy was mine. So yeah, if you're quick and you're persistent and patient and constantly checking, Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and Clove and all the other places that arcade games are sold, you can really score some smoking deals sometimes. And yeah, so I'll do a video at some point on all of my tips and tricks and secrets on how I score these amazing deals. But yeah, this is definitely one that's towards the top of the list. Great game, classic game, great condition. Needs a little bit of TLC, but other than that, I couldn't be happier. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. We'll do that cleanup work on this Asteroids in a future video sometime soon. But yeah, appreciate all the great feedback. Thanks for all the likes, the comments, all the subscriptions. We're almost at 1,000, or maybe by the time this video goes gets released, we'll be at the or past the 1,000 subscribers mark. But yeah, the feedback's been so phenomenal. So thanks for everything that all of you do. I love the support. It's been incredible. So I think I'll end it here. As always, I'm Charlie. Thanks for watching Overtime Arcade, and I'll see you next time.
Overtime!